I had a question from the other class. Answer.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the last three questions about the cable size.
What?
The last three questions of the final exam. Like when you find out the cable size, the Hibbeton was the 12.9, and he built the wire the cable, and you have to find the calculation for what size. I think what size cable is it?
Mm-hmm.
Where I can find the I'm sure it's
formula?
The formula and the.
Is it voltage drop?
Yeah, there was voltage drop. Yeah.
Is that the question that you have?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there was two questions and the last two questions of the exam, or three questions of the exam, and
Did you take it already?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Well, I
Yeah,
can just look at the question you're talking about.
It's from my other class from residential.
These three?
Mm-hmm.
You got it right. I mean, I don't.
Is it? You wait from those ones. Where I can find well, I know there's a calculation. There's for this one I think is 2 times and 12.9
2
times.
KLI divided by circular mills.
Yeah.
That's in your Uglies book.
There's an English book, right? But
Yeah.
where I can find the it's a formula, and it's not a formula. It's like a table where you can find the number.
Circular mills.
Yeah,
that's in your Uglies book too.
There's an English book too.
How'd you get it right if you didn't know where to find it?
I remember that we did that. We did last week, 2 weeks ago. We did the paperwork. We gave us like 8 questions about that.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I don't miss any of those. But so it's where I remember some from. I remember the numbers, but I don't remember the.
Well, it's in the code book, but your Uglies book has it too.
So I was looking for a formula for that.
The voltage drop do you want the voltage drop formula or the circular mills?
The circle mills.
Okay, so that's conductor, what's it called? Conductor properties or something.
Because voltage drop formula and circle mills is backwards, right? The only thing that's changed is algebra.
Here's voltage drop stuff. Conductor properties, 71. Here they are. Area and circular mills, and then the wire size.
Okay. Yeah, that was where I was looking, and I look in the book, and I don't find it. I look in here, but I don't see this one, so I'm gonna just keep it. It's like I said, I remember the numbers because we did this paper.
Uh-huh.
And there was like 10 questions. You hear us for homework or something?
Uh-huh.
Did you have homework? And but I don't remember where I get this from.
Okay.
This like.
There you go.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. De nada. How did I do?
Not bad.
I took Spanish in high school, man.
You did?
Yeah. I didn't pay attention very much,
I
but
take English in the high school too when I was in Mexico.
did you?
I don't catch anything.
So where'd you learn the most? Just by coming here?
United States.
Yeah.
It's practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can remember anything that you don't practice. First pronunciation and everything's very different. And my dog speaks more English than my teacher in Mexico.
Your dog does? Okay. Folks. Everybody have a good weekend?
Yeah. How about you? You got the briefing? You got arrested?
Did I get arrested? No. I had my kids all weekend, so I was behaving.
This is when you get arrested.
Right. So, timers. Steve talked to you guys about timers a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he show you the guts of a NEMA timer? The physical timer? This thing?
Yeah.
Did he take it apart for you?
Oh, yeah, we did this one.
Good, then I don't have to do that. Unless you want me to, I'm happy to take it apart. You guys are happy to take one apart if you want, just to see how the guts of them work. But the concept of every timer is the same, whether or not it's built in that fashion, or if it's an IEC one, or if it's a integrated circuit, smaller solid state one. So what you have, this is the most confusing part for everybody, is there's basically 4 different scenarios. Oh man. On lab, what is this, 13? 12. Got one timer and 2 contacts. On the timer itself, you're going to have the timer's coil, correct? And I'm just gonna, let's see. I'm gonna do an example behind me so you can see the difference between on delay and off delay. That's the most important part. Let's see, how am I gonna do it? I'll wire it to a push button. And then I need to energize the coil for the thing to even work. Jeez. Wow. You get the idea, right? What is this, the symbol for this circuit, by the way? I've asked you guys this in the lab. What does that circle represent? The coil. Some of you have said starts with a C and rhymes with schmoil. Shit. All right, so where is the coil on this timer? Yeah, the top 2 screws. There's a neutral landed on the right-hand side. And the left-hand side is where you would energize the coil. And this is the exact same thing, right? It's just one of those Allen Bradley Bulletin 700 control relays with 4 sets of contacts on the back. I could take this thing off of here and show you that. Did Steve do that? Yeah. Okay. If I take this timer off, what you're left with is this. And the timer operates, this little plunger here sits on this red indicator. So when that coil, the same coil that does the work here, gets energized and that pulls in, this plunger gets pulled in at the same time because there's a spring pushing back on it. So whenever the coil gets energized for the relay, the timer starts doing its thing. This one, I don't know if you can read it, but it says off delay right now. We'll get into that more in a second, but there's two sets of contacts on the timer. One on the left is normally open, the one on the right is normally closed. All right, so same thing with the back part, the relay. If you wanted to change those apps normally open or normally closed, if you wanted to switch them, make them both normally closed, you can do that by taking this thing apart. That's the beauty of NEMA. NEMA timers. With an IEC one, this is normally open on the left, normally closed on the right. And you don't have any choice. Thank you. It's really important. You don't have any choice with this. You can't change them out. So what you see is what you get. But this on the IEC one, this little dial is how you adjust the timing. It will go from 0.3 to 30 seconds. And this is also an on delay timer. You can't do anything about that. If you needed an off delay timer, you have to buy one. This one can be off delay or on delay. I'm going to do one of each so you can see the difference in the timing. That's the most confusing part for everybody. But anyway, on your lab 12, you're going to have normally open and a normally closed. So here's normally closed. And for this example, I'll make some lights happen just so you can see. I'll make this one red. And I'll make this one green. So some of you might have heard me say for these limit switches, the timing contacts, which direction is the action on the contacts themselves? If you're looking at them on a print, the action is always up. So when this set of contacts gets actuated, it's going to go up. So what happens when it goes up? It closes. The same for this one. When this one gets actuated, it goes up and it opens. And then you're drawing, it is an on delay timer, but we have an off delay timer set up behind me. So I'm going to make these off delay. And there you go. And what if I said that this was a 3-second timer? So I turn the disconnect. What comes on? If I had this hooked up like it is on the drawing that's in front of you, if I energize the disconnect, do any lights turn on? The green one? The red one is closed, correct?
Yeah.
So the red one will turn on right away. You see that? I said the disconnect, not the coil. So I'm turning the disconnect. I just energized this thing. The red one's normally closed, so the red one will turn on. All right, now I push the push button down and energize that coil. What happens? This is the most confusing part for people because you have not just normally open and normally closed, but you have on delay versus off delay.
Well, after 3 seconds, the green light would come on.
Right. So think of off delay or on delay in terms of when the change of state occurs.
So off delay, change right away. On delay, the change at the time.
No. Off delay means when the coil gets de-energized, then 3 seconds later, it will change state. Does that make sense? It's an off delay. So it has nothing to do with the contacts themselves. It has everything to do with the timer coil. So in an off delay timer, no, excuse me, I said that wrong. So I'm really going to confuse the shit out of you. An off delay timer, when the coil gets energized, it changes state. Okay. When the coil gets de-energized, then 3 seconds later, it will change back, right? Does that make sense? You'll see it because I'm going to do an example. But an off delay timer means that when that coil gets energized, the lights are going to switch. And then 3 seconds later, no, after I de-energize the coil, 3 seconds later, it will change. Follow?
So there's no timer when you turn it on.
Right.
So you also have it.
There's a delay in the off stuff. Let's see if I can get the lights in there. All right, so I'm gonna wire this up to one on the stop. Also to there, also to there. So yes, I have to go. To help buy some tools. Okay, so I'll walk you through this, but I got wire number 1 going through a stop. I'm not going to move it, even though there's no stop shown on my print. But then I'm going to take wire number 1 over to a start push button, and then to the coil of the timer. If you see me do this, and you have any questions on what I'm doing or why, just holla at the boy. Now would be a good time for one of you to sing.
That's not singing.
That's not singing.
I like it.
I know, Lewis, I know you know some Billie Eilish.
What I was thinking, what's that, is it the Himalayan throat singing or something?
Mongolia.
Mongolian?
What?
Mongolian beat throat.
What that is, but one of you guys needs to do it.
I would try, but I'll probably end up pooping in my pants.
You definitely need to do it. Start button over to the coil of this bad boy.
Oh, here we go. Not singing.
That just sounds like the leader of a cult or something.
Yeah, it sounds-
Creepy. All right, so then I got wire number 1 also connected to the normally open and normally closed line side. And on the load side, I'm going to take one over to the red light and one over to the green light. So
You see it, wire number 1 connects to both the normally open and the normally closed.
on the line side, yes, because look at that drawing. All 3 on the left-hand side are wire number 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're do the two-step, one cowboy boogie. Yeah. So which one is my green one? Normally closed or normally open?
Normally open.
Green's normally open. That would be the one on the left. Which makes normally close the red one, correct?
Yeah.
Right, and I am done because the coil's neutral has already been made up, and the neutral for the lights, which is shared between the three of them, has already landed here. So I can turn this thing on and see what it does. But what did we say this thing was going to do when I push the button?
What's in the red light on?
Well, when I turn the disconnect on, yes, the red light will come on. See? Red light's on. When I push the button,
3 seconds, green light.
it's an off delay timer. So when I push the button, it's going to change state. The green light will turn on, the red light will turn off. When I let go of the button, then a certain amount of seconds later, it will change state because it's an off delay timer. All right. So I'm holding the button down. It changed state, right? I don't know how many seconds this timer is set for. It's probably more than 3, but I'll just de-energize the coil and then you'll see that however many seconds later, 1, 2, oh, that's pretty close to 3. See that? And I can make adjustments on this timer by this little dial here. You increase the time by doing that.
So for off delay, when you push a button, it instantly changes state, so then there's no timer variation.
Right. Think about the delay in the timing happening when the coil gets turned off. That's why it's called
And
off.
then on's the opposite. So when you push the button, nothing might happen, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I will do an on delay in a minute.
Okay.
But all right, here it is again. Push a button, the coil gets energized, and this little plunger gets pulled in, and then a certain amount of seconds later, it'll change back. So I increase the time. I don't know, about 5 seconds or whatever. I don't care so much on your lab if you get the timing exactly right. Point is to understand off delay versus on delay. Okay, now the cool thing about NEMA, if this was an IEC relay like this one, and I had that timer wherever it went, this guy, and I wanted to change it out to, and I wanted to change it out to an on delay. How would I do it? I'd have to get a different one of these, right? But for NEMA, what we're gonna do, oh, let me zoom in on this, maybe you guys can read it.
So off delay is turn station 3 seconds, right? On delay,
Hmm?
the other way, right?
What?
This one is off delay, right?
Yeah. Do you see how on the, I'll point it up to you. It says off delay right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it says on delay down here, but it's upside down? Can you read it or no?
Yeah.
So if I take this thing out, you take these two screws out and flip this thing upside down, this thing will now be right side up. Now it says on delay. All right. It all happens because of the mechanism that's behind here. You guys, again, are welcome to take this thing apart and see how it operates, but so I don't even have to move the wires around. I just have to change this thing out to make it an on delay. Look, now it says on delay. So what happens with the on delay timer?
They will turn on in 3 seconds.
Right, I push the button. The coil, you will see this thing pull in, but it's not going to change state until the timing is done. So on delay timer happens, the timing function happens when the coil turns on. Off delay timer the timing function happens when the coil turns off. So I got that flipped around. It's still set on the same timing because I haven't moved this dial. It's about 5 seconds or whatever it is. And I'm going to do the same thing and energize that coil after I zoom out. There, you guys should be able to see the lights. Same thing happens when I turn the disconnect on, the red light's on. Now when I push the button, nothing will happen until that 5 seconds later. That's the difference. So now we're on an on delay timer. I guess I should change it on the drawing. Now we're on delay. That's what that symbol looks like. And that is what your lab is. There's normally open on delay and normally closed on delay. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna push the button. Nothing should happen until 5 seconds later. You'll hear the coil pull in though. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. 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 There it is. 8 seconds, whatever. And then when I let go of the button, it will change back. So that's an off delay timer or an on delay timer. Ready? Here, I'll 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 6, 7. Oh, I increased the time because I flipped it upside down. A long time. Use. What did it say was up to 30 seconds? There it is. Wow. Woo, that's quick. Woo. Woo. Everybody get the idea though? Okay. I should have enough info to do the lab 12. Just look at it real quick.
Did everybody else go all the way through lab 11 last week?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't finish the last page on it. So.
Okay. Well, you're a bum.
Yeah.
Sorry about it. How do I, what the French is going on here? There's Heath. Lab 12. So your coil for your timer's right here. It says 10 seconds. Try to get it close if you can. Are these on delay or off delay? On delay, because they're pointing up. Normally open, normally closed. So basically what will happen when you get to this point in the print, you close that limit switch, what happens?
Timer starts.
Timer starts, nothing changes state until 10 seconds later. All right. Then it looks like they want you to use an ice cube relay up here. CR2, you can use whatever you want, IEC or NEMA. Now, can you use the same coil for this as you can the timing relay coil?
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
For which one, for CR2?
Yeah, these are two different coils.
Oh,
So you're going to need a total of 3 relays here. The ice cube relay, timing relay, and one other one. You cannot use this as the same relay. That's 2 different coils. They get energized at different times.
So our timers are NEMA, you said?
Yeah, I would like you to use the NEMA one.
No, that's fine. I'm trying to figure out which one I should use.
I would like you to use the NEMA one. If you want to play around with the IEC one, you're welcome to.
Rather not.
Yeah. But, all right. Let's get her done.
hey,
Hey.
I leave my laptop.
Jeez, come on, man.
Anyway.
Yeah, no problem. No problemo.